Hello everyone, welcome back to Fight Week Recap. Hopefully, you are doing well. UFC 271, the main event second pay-per-view of 2022, is around the corner, and anticipation is growing. The main event of the card, which takes place on February 11th in Houston, will be a rematch of the middleweight title between reigning champion Israel Adesanya and the man he knocked out to win the belt in 2019. The pair fight out of New Zealand and Australia, respectively, and are not the only oceanic fighters on the card. In the co-main event, Whittaker's fellow Australian Tai Tuivasa will face the most difficult test of his career when he enters the octagon against Houstonian heavyweight Derek Lewis, who holds the UFC record for most knockouts. The card will also include a high-stakes middleweight fight between top-ranked contenders Derek Brunson and Jared Cannonier, with the winner earning a shot at the title. Aside from that, the lineup will include a mix of veterans, contenders, and rising prospects. UFC 271 will take place on 11th of February in Houston. We have a great news for you as we are giving away 10 free pay-per-view to our subscribers. All you have to do is subscribe to our channel and like the video. As we move forward, we will show you an interesting lineup of the event with details. 1. Israel Adesanya vs. Robert Whittaker. The first meeting between Israel Adesanya and Robert Whittaker was decisive. Adesanya knocked out his opponent in the second round, usurping the throne in the process. Whittaker's performance was a little underwhelming. The Australian entered the ring with Adesanya on a 9-fight winning streak, having recently survived 2 grueling battles with the terrifying Yoel Romero. People expected a little bit more from him. The Australian will have the opportunity to prove his worth in the main event of UFC 271. He earned the opportunity with 3 decision victories over Darren Till, Jared Cannonier, and Kelvin Gastelum, 3 of the division's most dangerous fighters. There are numerous reasons to believe Whittaker will perform better this time. He's looked better than ever in his last 3 fights, even if he hasn't been able to finish them. Adesanya, on the other hand, has appeared increasingly vulnerable, most notably in his early 2021 decision loss to Jan Blachowicz at light heavyweight and subsequent decision victory over Marvin Vettori at middleweight, in which he was taken down 7 times. Whittaker is a fantastic striker and one of the best wrestlers in the division, and he could beat Adesanya in a variety of ways. Will it be a decisive victory for the champion? Is it a setback for the former king? Or will we see the competitive brawl that many fans expected when these 2 middleweight titans met in the octagon for the first time? We'll just have to wait and see what happens. 2. Derek Lewis vs. Tai Tuivasa. Derek Lewis is feared inside the octagon for his devastating knockout power, which he's used to thrash the likes of Alexander Volkov, Curtis Blades, Alexei Oleinik, and, most recently, Chris Daukaus. Outside of the octagon, he's known for his outgoing personality and habit of delivering memorable lines during press conferences and interviews. It's difficult to imagine Lewis dancing with anyone other than Australia's Tai Tuivasa. While he hasn't had as many knockout victories as Lewis, no one in UFC history has shown that he has plenty of power, suffocating the likes of Stefan Struve, Greg Hardy, and Augusto Sakai. He's never shied away from a brawl, and that's unlikely to change against Lewis. Tuivasa is also adored for his personality outside the cage, having shooied his way into the hearts of fans all over the world. We can't help you if you don't know what a shoey is at this point. 3. Title of Derek Brunson's. Derek Brunson appeared to have reached his peak at the end of 2018. He'd beaten some tough opponents, but after losses to Ronaldo Jacare Souza and Anderson Silva, he appeared to be destined for gatekeeper status heading into 2019. He's probably one win away from his first shot at the UFC middleweight title at the start of 2022. He's won 5 straight fights since his losses to Souza and Silva. In his last 3 fights, he's battered Edmond Shabazian to a TKO, ground Kelvin Gastelum to a decision, and suffocated Darren Till to a submission. Brunson's claim to a title shot against the winner of Adesanya Whittaker will be almost unmistakable if he defeats Jared Cannonier, 14-5. At UFC 271. But it will not be easy. Cannonier, who has previously fought at heavyweight and light heavyweight, is coming off an impressive decision win over Kelvin Gastelum, which kept him from losing to Whittaker via decision. We haven't seen him stop anyone in a long time, but he's shown he's more than capable of doing so, with finishes in 11 of his 14 victories. And if he can end Brunson's winning streak in February, he may be able to earn a title shot himself. 4. Andrei Arlovski vs Jared Vanderaa. Andrei Arlovski is a legendary marvel. The 42-year-old Belarusian made his UFC debut in November 2000, immediately after George W. Bush defeated Al Gore in the presidential election. He is still fighting in the octagon almost 22 years later, and winning. He'll be looking for his third consecutive victory when he fights Jared Vanderaa on the UFC 271 undercard, after beating Chase Sherman and Carlos Felipe by decision last year. It's impossible to predict heavyweight fights, but Arlovski appears to be up to the task. Vanderaa is 2-2 in his 4 fights and doesn't appear to have much of a future. Time will tell whether the aging veteran can turn back the clock. 5. Roxanne Modafferi vs Casey O'Neill. This is going to be a fantastic battle. Roxanne Modafferi, the UFC's No. 12 ranked flyweight, is one of the most experienced fighters in women's MMA and remains a formidable opponent for all but the division's best. She'll face the undefeated Casey O'Neill on the UFC 271 undercard, who is one of the division's most promising young fighters. It's a classic veteran versus prospect battle, and it'll reveal a lot about where both women stand in the division at this point in their careers. 6. Carlos Ulberg vs Fabio Cherant. Carlos Ulberg appeared to be destined for greatness after earning a UFC contract with a knockout win over Bruno Oliveira on Dana White's Contender Series. The kickboxing expert, a training partner of UFC middleweight champion Israel Adesanya, was clearly dangerous, and he had the looks and personality to back it up. Ulberg will have the opportunity to redeem himself against Fabio Cherant on the UFC 271 undercard. Which of these fights are you looking forward? Please provide your feedback in the comments section below. Don't forget to subscribe our channel so you don't miss an update. Press the bell icon to stay connected to our channel and enjoy meaningful content. I will meet you soon in a new video. Until then, stay happy and take care of yourself.